Hey, it's been a minute. So I've been wanting to make videos, but my life has just been really busy and really stressful lately, and so I just have not had the time, the energy, etc. to script and shoot and whatnot for videos. But it has been a while, so I did want to go ahead and do a video. And it's a video that I should have done back when this news first dropped. And I wanted to do it back when this news first dropped, but the day that the news dropped, I had a horrible day, and that just didn't really have the opportunity to film, and it just forgot about it since then. So on January 10th, there's like a huge windstorm going on outside. Hopefully that doesn't really pick up on the mic, but if there's weird howling, that's the wind. So January 10th, 2019 was the 20-year anniversary of the premiere of Batman Beyond. And if you have watched any of this channel, you know that I am a really big Batman Beyond fanboy. I am the self-declared most prolific Batman Beyond fanboy on YouTube. I am like the YouTube expert on Batman Beyond. I don't think anyone else has made as many Batman Beyond videos as I have. Not that I've made a whole lot, but I'm still beating out everybody else. So obviously, like, January 10th, that was like a big day for me. I was like really happy. I posted about it, it's 10-year anniversary. Like, this is my favorite show. It was cool. And like for the past 2 years, I have been saying, hey, DC Warner Brothers, make a Batman Beyond movie already. Make a live-action Batman Beyond movie. It would be great. Batman Beyond, it's dark, it's edgy, it's dire. It would fit in perfectly with the DCEU. You wouldn't really have to change anything about it to make it all dark and gritty and Zack Snyder-y. And it's cyberpunk, and cyberpunk's cool and fairly popular. You can do some sort of retrofuturism, sort of synthwave cyberpunk sort of stuff with it, and it would be dope. I've been saying, make a Batman Beyond movie. Just make that happen already, and cast Clint Eastwood as Bruce, because he's super old, he's super crabby, and he would make a good old man Bruce. And then on January 30th, Screen Rant broke the news about DC making an animated Batman Beyond movie that's probably going to drop sometime in 2020. On their article, after concept art for an unknown animated Batman film leaked online, geeks worldwide discovered that there is currently an animated Batman Beyond movie in the works through Warner Animation Group. Though few details have been released, there is a possibility that the film will begin production in 2020 with a theatrical release date in 2022. Okay, my mistake. The announcement of the film is evidently DC's response to the recent acclaim drawn by Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And there's some concept art which looks really cool. Now I have not seen Into the Spider-Verse yet. I just don't go to the movies very often. Movies are expensive, and I don't like the fact that buying a movie ticket is now like buying an airplane ticket. I don't like that I have to choose my seat beforehand. I don't like that I have to plan a day in advance that I'm gonna go see a movie. But that's a rant for a different day. So I haven't seen Into the Spider-Verse yet. I have heard really good things. I actually read the Ultimate Spider-Man comics when like Miles Morales was first introduced as a character, and I loved it. I thought he was a really good character. I thought it was really compelling storytelling. And like everything I've seen for Into the Spider-Verse makes it look awesome. So that Warner Brothers would see the success of Into the Spider-Verse and be like, we can do an animated film, and we can do it, like, we can do something like this. That's pretty cool. And the fact that they chose Batman Beyond is fantastic. Like, I would love to see a live action Batman Beyond, but an animated Batman Beyond is also like really, really cool, and I'm just really excited. Like, I'm so excited for this. I cannot believe that I'm gonna have to wait like 3 years to see this movie. I want it to exist now. But I'm also like a little apprehensive. I'm a little bit, teensy bit nervous. But so I wanted to do this video. This is sort of my reaction to the news video, and I want to spend this video talking about what I want to see from a Batman Beyond movie, and also what I'm afraid of for a Batman Beyond movie. So I've got some notes. Okay, so we're starting with like my hopes for it. My number one hope is that they do something creative with the CGI animation. Like, I assume this is going to be CGI. I'm fine with that. We've already got 2D traditional animation, Batman Beyond. It's beautiful. You can't... I'm not sure if I would really accept a Batman Beyond movie that was like traditional animated, that was in a different style from the Bruce Timm style, just because it's like, it's so familiar to me, and that's just like, when I think of Batman Beyond, that's what I think of. But I've seen like clips of Into the Spider-Verse and how they like really push what you can do with CGI animation, and that it's not trying to be like 100% realistic, that it's got a stylization to it, that it's kind of cartoony, that they do like comic booky looking stuff with it. And I'd love to see that for a Batman Beyond movie. And I'm especially like intrigued by the concept art, and that it's grayscale with some red. I think that it would be a really bold move if they were to release it as a monochrome CGI animated film. Like, if it was all in black and white with the red, that'd be like so visually striking, and that would like be just really, that would really push the envelope. That would be really, really cool. And I kind of hope that that's what they do with it. I feel like that's unlikely, like that the grayscale animation is just like, this concept art is just, it's just concepts. But it would be really cool if they went that direction with it. The other thing that I'm really hoping that they do is that they tap into the themes of season 1 of Batman Beyond. So I can't remember if I've talked about it on this YouTube channel, but if you listen to the extra features and the director commentaries on the Batman Beyond DVDs, specifically, I don't know if it's in the non-box special edition, but I have the special box edition that came out a few years back. If you watch the background in like the behind the scenes stuff, I think it's Glenn Murakami who says that they went a very different direction with Batman Beyond as compared to Batman the Animated Series, and that was that they had this idea of crime moves off of the street and into the boardroom. Of course, crime has always been in the boardroom. I mean, there are no ethical like CEOs. That just doesn't happen. But they did really push this idea that Terry McGinnis was whereas Bruce Wayne is upper class fighting against common criminals, Terry McGinnis is working class fighting against corruption in businesses. And that was a really interesting move for them, and it really works because Batman Beyond is ostensibly a cyberpunk story, and cyberpunk is all about like corruption and counterculture and things like that. And right now we are living in a time of billionaires who are just like, they act like someone out of a fucking cyberpunk like novel or movie or whatever. Like, we have like Elon Musk, we've got Jeff Bezos, we've got fucking Donald Trump. We have all of these high profile billionaires who are basically trying to run the world, and it's creepy and it's a little scary, and like our privacy is being slowly eroded away, and our rights are being slowly eroded away, all in the interest of capitalism. And like Batman Beyond, it was a good, like, interesting story in the 90s, in like early 2000s, but like now in 2019, like, it is so, the themes of season 1 of Batman Beyond, of Derek Powers trying to like sell weapons to terrorists, of just like running all over his employees, of like corruption and all of that, like that would be so topical right now, and I really, really hope that they run with it. Basically, like, what I want to see out of a Batman Beyond movie is I want to see the focus on Terry versus Derek Powers, aka Blight. Like that is what I want to see, and I am glad, like, from what I can tell, I haven't watched many superhero movies lately just because I'm tired of superhero movies. I was never really into superheroes. I just like Batman Beyond, so that's why I'm so happy there's a Batman Beyond movie coming out. But there was this point, like, in the 2000s where all of the superhero movies had like at least 2 villains in them, and I think that even goes back further back. I mean, like, Tim Burton's Batman Returns had 2 villains, and that sort of just set the standard of like 2 villains moving forward. And then it like peaked with Spider-Man 3, where we had Venom, we had Sandman, and we had Green Goblin 2, or Hobgoblin. Is that what Harry? I think his name was Harry. Is that what Harry Osborn's like whole deal was called? I think it was called Hobgoblin. But lately we've kind of been pulling back from that. We have been seeing more superhero movies where there's just one major like threat that the hero is fighting against, and I would really like a Batman Beyond movie to just focus on Derek Powers. I don't want to see like any other villains being brought in. If you have to bring in another villain, I'd say bring in Ink, because she's kind of like tied to Derek Powers, but otherwise, like, just Derek Powers. Make the focus solely on Terry versus Derek Powers and the corruption that is happening with that. So I before the news came out about this, I was planning to do a video of like my like script treatment of a Batman Beyond movie. Like, this is like my outline for what a Batman Beyond movie would be like, and like what I would want to see. And I can sort of like give the rundown right now, because this sort of ties into my hopes. Like, my ideal Batman Beyond movie would be the following. Okay, so we see like Bruce at the very, very start. We like don't even have to do like the thing that Rebirth Part 1 did, where they actually show like Bruce hanging up the cape. You can just like do like a montage of like news reports, almost like just like going back to like the golden age of Bruce Wayne. There's like this little montage of like sort of like the opening of Hellboy. I actually just watched Hellboy yesterday, and they've got this little montage of like all these like cryptid sightings and stuff of Hellboy. Do something like that with Bruce, of like all this news footage of Batman throughout like the ages, and then slowly like it starts to taper off, and like there's less and less scene of Batman, and then you get to like talking head, like late night news footage, like not news footage, talk show footage, like people talking about like they haven't seen Batman in like 20 years, and like what's happened to the Cape Crusader, and like people like conspiracy theories and all this stuff about Batman. And like that's it. Like don't put the focus right on Bruce at the start. Like, don't even explain why Bruce hung up the cape. Just like jump straight into the story. And then there are fucking roosters crowing. I hate my neighbor's goddamn chickens. They've got 2 roosters. Who the fuck needs 2 roosters? I digress. So okay, so, and then you start in, and you start with like Bruce Wayne at a board meeting with Derek Powers, and it is like the corporate takeover. We see Derek Powers do the corporate takeover of an like septuagenarian, like Bruce Wayne, old man Bruce Wayne, who has like his company is taken away from him. You could even do that as part of like the news montage. You can like include like go from Batman to like Wayne Enterprises, and like Bruce Wayne like losing control of his family's company. Then you switch to Warren McGinnis, like working on the nerve gas agent that he was helping to create, and he finds out like what's going on. Like, he comes across like this document that like shows that like Derek Powers is planning to sell it to like terrorists or whatever. And he sort of does this thing of like, I can't think with these chickens crying. He does that thing of like Derek Powers like sort of comes in and sort of implies that he knows that Warren has figured this out, but Warren is like gets the hell out of there like without completely being found out. But it's like you cut to Derek Powers and he's got like this look on his face, like this scheming look. And then you cut back to Terry. So we start with Warren. We have to start with Warren because the focus of this movie should be about fathers. It should all be about father-son relationships. So we cut back so we start with Warren, and then we go back and we see Terry like at school, and like we want to demonstrate from like the get-go that Terry is a delinquent. Like, he rides in like in the morning, like he comes roaring up to school on a motorcycle, and like people sort of like part when he like walks by, like they kind of like sort of you know, they like sort of try to make themselves smaller when he walks by, and they kind of look at him with suspicion, and like they get quiet when he walks past. And like when he goes into the lunchroom to sit down at lunch, everyone like gets really, really quiet. And then Nelson Nash comes up and like tries to pick a fight with Terry, and Terry just goes ballistic. Like, he just loses it. He goes nuts on Nelson. He just like like slams his face into a wall, sort of like very violent like fighting, and like Terry gets dragged into the principal's office, and like they call his parents, and so his mom and Warren like show up. No, not his mom and Warren, just his mom shows up. His mom shows up, and like he's got this like meeting with the counselor, and you could even include Ira Billings, Spellbinder, and you've like got him sitting there, and he's like wearing orange and black, and he's got like art of eyes like behind him in his office, but otherwise there's nothing about him being Spellbinder. And like he's having this conversation with Terry and his mom about like the fact that Terry like was just released from juvie like a month ago, like maybe even like a week ago. He's just gotten back from juvie, and that's why everyone is so like wary of him. And like right at the end of the meeting, his dad shows up, and his dad was late because of course he was like trying to get like away, like trying to sneak around, get away from Derek Powers. But Terry's pissed off at his dad because he feels like his dad's being neglectful. His dad hasn't shown up. He's not like being there for him. But it's like his turn to like stay with his dad, so he has to go home with his dad. He's super pissed off, and we just spend time with Terry and Warren like developing their relationship as father and son. We see how they interact with each other. We see that Terry is a very, very angry, very violent young man. We see that Warren is like trying really hard to deal with him, but Terry is like very pissed off at him, and Warren is also like trying to piece together what's going on with Derek Powers. He's like trying to like go to the authorities about this and whatnot. And like we see some more stuff of like Terry. We see him like meeting up with Dana. We see him like in his day-to-day life. I think like you like don't even introduce Bruce Wayne until like at least half an hour into the film. Spend like half an hour just with Terry and Warren and establishing their relationship as a father and son. And then you can do the whole thing where Terry like meets Bruce Wayne, like helps Bruce Wayne out, and finds the Batcave. Like that you can keep from Rebirth. You can keep that the exact same. Terry like wanders into the Batcave, Bruce throws him out. We could even like you could even like go a little bit further, you know, Terry establishing him as like a delinquent, as like violent. We could even see him like when he's down in the Batcave, he likes picking up weapons and he's looking at stuff. He's like looking at batarangs, and he like might even like take one. Then Warren dies. Terry goes and tries to get revenge on his own first. That doesn't work. So then he goes to Bruce, and then we can do sort of the same thing as Rebirth. But make it like Terry doesn't immediately like get to like Derek Powers. Like he spends time talking with Bruce and trying to like learn about Bruce as Batman, trying to convince Bruce to do something, and like build like this tension of like Terry trying to convince Bruce, him like dealing with Derek Powers' goons coming after him, and finally eventually he just hits the breaking point where he goes and he steals this suit. So it's like there's back and forth with Bruce and him for a while, like again like establishing like that they will become he will replace Terry as a father figure. And then we can do like the fight against Derek Powers, and then at the end of the movie, like don't even bring like Blight out until the very end of the movie, where like you see him like get the treatment and he becomes Blight, and that can be like sequel bait. And then roll credits, and then after the credits there's the post-credit sequence, which is you see this pink-haired black girl who you have seen in the background of all of the school shots. You see her sitting in a computer lab like during class, and she's like looking at like blurry news footage of Batman, and like you see her like doing stuff on her computer, and maybe like she sends an email, like an anonymous email to Terry, like saying like, I know who you are, or something like that. Like set up Max for the next movie as well. And that's my script treatment. But like I said, I think there should be a very strong focus on fatherhood. I'd like to see that, of really establishing Terry and Warren as like family, but like kind of dysfunctional, and then Terry and Bruce as like a new father figure, but equally as dysfunctional. But then like as it goes, like Terry begins to like see Bruce as more as a father figure. I also think there should be a really heavy focus on Terry as a delinquent, and like the fact that people distrust him, that he's like got gang ties, etc. To really establish that he is trying to redeem himself. Like I think that like the redemption arc angle needs to be there, that he fucked up in the past and now he is trying to make it right, but no one is giving him the chance. Not even Bruce Wayne will give him the chance, so he takes a chance for himself. Another thing I'd like to see is some visual like nods to Akira. Like that should be pretty easy. Like Batman Beyond was kind of an Akira ripoff to begin with. But what I want it to do is like, so stylistically and like thematically, like sort of got that Akira vibe so well, but not being Akira, just like an Akira vibe enough so that Hollywood finally gives up this whole like let's make an American Akira thing, because there is an American Akira and it's called Batman Beyond 2020 or whatever they name it. I would like to see it go on the like be dark, like be an animated movie for like teens and adults. Like just because it's animated doesn't necessarily mean that it's a children's movie. Make it a little bit on the darker side. Make it a little bit more teen focused, because like that could fit into the DCEU, and that also fits into the tone of the original. Like Bruce Timm has even said, like in the extra features on here, that Batman Beyond has this edge and this darkness to it that no other entry into the DC animated universe had. And that makes it like really fit with the DC extended or cinematic, whatever, the DC movies currently. So I'd like to see it like have a darker, like more serious approach. Also, what I hope for is that this creates a new demand for Batman Beyond merch. I want action figures. I want collectibles. I want clothing. I want them to like make Terry's jacket. Like I've actually got like sort of Terry's jacket. I've cosplayed as Terry, but I want like the actual, like his actual jacket. I want merch. I want merchandise. I want stuff out of this, because I have a whole collection. Like this guy is only like one tiny part of my collection. I have a whole shelf of my bookcase dedicated to Batman Beyond stuff, and I want more. Okay, now for my fears. The things that I'm worried about. First thing I'm worried about is that it falls too much back on the idea of Bruce as like the one good billionaire, because there are no good billionaires, and especially a guy who dresses up as a bat to go beat up poor criminals is not a good billionaire. I doubt like they'll like at all like have anyone question like that Bruce might be misguided or that he might be wrong. But I hope they do. Like that was always the failing of Batman Beyond, is that like they do this thing about crime has moved in the boardroom, but they never address that Bruce is part of that system. And there is a whole essay to be had on that. I wrote that essay. I turned it into a media theory class. It was a Marxist criticism of Batman Beyond. I might make that into a video essay. but I'm a little hesitant to, just because it'll be all about like Marxist theory, and YouTube is a cesspool, and I'm not ready for like stupid fanboys to be coming into my comments, and like right-wingers coming into my comments and whatnot. I'm working on it though. Like I'm trying to put it together. Another thing I'm really afraid of is I'm afraid that they will make Terry Bruce's biological son, like from the start, that it will be directly like he is Bruce's like son right off the bat. I've done a whole video on why that, like, the whole idea of Terry being Bruce's son is bad, and it's flawed, and it takes away from the message of Batman Beyond. So I just really hope that they just ignore that. Next fear, I'm afraid that they're going to make Damian Wayne into Terry's mentor. That was a thing that I heard that they did in the comics. I never read it because the idea just pissed me off so much that I just was like, I don't want anything to do with this. But I hate it. I hate that idea. I do not like that anyone but Bruce is Terry's mentor. Like, that's the whole deal, is like that it has to be Bruce, that Bruce has to be the one because he is left alone and jaded by everything that's happened to him, and that he helps Terry to redeem himself, but Terry also kind of in a little like small way helps Bruce like to understand like that there are things like in the world worth fighting for, like not to give up on the world, but to that there are still heroes, sort of deal. I'm afraid that they'll like try to introduce the Justice League like right away. I don't want them to do that. Not even like tease at the Justice League. Just keep it all on Gotham for that first movie, and then if they wind up doing a sequel, then they can bring in the Justice League. But like for the first one, just make it Terry. Minor thing, but I am afraid that they'll make Dana White. In like Dana Tan, like she's Asian in the comics, like the comics from like 2013, 2013 or 2014, something like that. They confirmed that like Dana grew up in Hong Kong, and is like, just please don't whitewash Dana. In fact, what I really want them to do is I want them to make Terry a person of color. Like, make him, like, half Asian or something. Like, let's get a non-white Batman. That would be, like, really, really cool. And I think I've already mentioned this. I don't want them to try to fit in a whole bunch of villains at once. I want the focus to just be on Blight, and just to be on, like, Terry's revenge and redemption arc. And him sort of realizing that, like, revenge doesn't really help. Like, it doesn't take away the pain of losing his father, but that becoming a hero is going to redeem himself, at least in his own eyes, which is a big part of Return of the Joker. And yeah, like that's what I want to see. So I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to hearing more information. I would kill to go to like the premiere of it. So like, depending on how big my YouTube channel gets in 3 years, maybe I'll like try to make a campaign of like, take right to the Batman Beyond premiere. I deserve it. I am the biggest Batman Beyond fanboy. No, I don't deserve it. I want it. I don't necessarily deserve it, but I want it. I really want to. I would love to do that. Either way, like when it comes out, like I'm taking that day off work. If it's like on a work day, it's like, sorry, this is like this is a religious holiday for me. I can't come into work. I need to go and watch Batman Beyond movie. And of course, I'll do a video like as soon as I get home from the theater when I see it. And I'll probably, like, I'll keep checking in on the news for it, and, like, I'll keep making videos as we hear more about it. I'll definitely, like, do, like, a trailer reaction and whatnot. So you can expect, now that we, like, I said, after I did my Return of the Joker video, I was like, I gotta do some videos that aren't Batman Beyond related, And then, of course, like, I keep doing Batman Beyond videos. And now that there's a movie coming out, I'm going to do a lot more, obviously. I am going to do other things with this channel. I have other things planned. I want to make a Castlevania video. I want to make a Mystery Men video. I've got other things that I want to do. I just need the time to do them, and hopefully I can start finding more time. All right, so that's my hopes and plans for the Batman Beyond movie. Tell me in the comments, what are your hopes and fears for the Batman Beyond movie? Let's talk about what we want to see happen. Maybe like I'll start putting together like a list of like a bingo list of like, here's what I want to see in the movie. So like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more videos like that. That really helps me to get more views on my videos, because that like pushes it up in the algorithm. That helps me get more attention on my channel, and that like encourages me to do more videos. So if you like my videos, please like it, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on the little bell thingy to make sure that you get notifications for my new videos, and yeah, bye.